fall of the greatest king. My name is Alan Drake, and I'd just like to share with you a few more reasons why you should exchange any pride in your life for humility, and do it as soon as possible. One of the lessons that we can learn from the example of Nebuchadnezzar in Scripture is that pride in your life will cause you to be brought down. It will bring about your downfall. If we find ourselves in positions of greatness, we must remember that it is only because God gave us the means to achieve these positions and the opportunities to obtain them. And God can take them away at any time. Nebuchadnezzar learned this lesson the hard way. As the leader of the greatest empire on earth, he was the most powerful person in the world. He had no equal. In fact, no one was even close to him in power and authority. Daniel described him by saying that his greatness has grown and reaches to the heavens, and his dominion to the ends of the earth. That's in Daniel chapter 4, verse 22 in the Bible. No leader in our modern times compares to the all-encompassing power and authority that he wielded. He seemed untouchable. And then, at the height of Nebuchadnezzar's reign, while he was walking on the roof of his palace in Babylon, he said, quote, "Isn't this the great Babylon that I have built as a place for my royal palace? I used my mighty power to build it. It shows how glorious my majesty is." He was still speaking when he heard a voice from heaven. It said, "King Nebuchadnezzar, here is what has been ordered concerning you. Your royal authority has been taken from you. You will be driven away from people. You will live with the wild animals. You will eat grass, just as an ox does. 7 periods of time will pass by for you. Then you will recognize that the Most High God rules over all the kingdoms of the earth. He gives them to anyone he wants." What had been said about King Nebuchadnezzar came true at once. He was driven away from the people. He ate grass, just as an ox does. His body became wet with the dew of heaven. He stayed that way until his hair grew like the feathers of an eagle, and his nails became like claws of a bird. Nebuchadnezzar tells us this story himself in Daniel chapter 4. "At the end of that time, I, Nebuchadnezzar, looked up toward heaven. My mind became clear again. Then I praised the Most High God. I gave honor and glory to the God who lives forever. His rule will last forever. His kingdom will never end. He considers all the nations on earth to be nothing. He does as he pleases with the powers of heaven. He does what he wants with the nations of the earth. No one can hold back his hand. No one can say to him, 'What have you done?' My honor and glory will return to me when my mind became clear again. The glory of my kingdom was given back to me. My advisors and nobles came to me, and I was put back on my throne. I became even greater than I had been before." So, at the end of this extreme ordeal that Nebuchadnezzar had endured, what was the point? What had changed? What had he learned? In the last verse of Daniel chapter 4, he tells us what he learned. He says, "In conclusion, I, Nebuchadnezzar, praise, exalt, and give glory to the King of heaven. For everything he does is true. His ways are just, and he is able to humble those who walk in pride." Does God humble people because he's jealous and wants all the worship for himself? Is he really selfish in that way? No, not at all. The truth is that we are not built to handle the temptations that come with being an object of extreme worship and adoration. It's a trap for us that results in pride, which leads to deception. It distorts our perceptions of truth and reality and causes many other destructive problems for us. God, in his wisdom, directs us to make him our supreme object of worship and glory because he's able to handle it. He is unaffected by pride and its disastrous effects. He is able to receive all of our worship and glory and absorb it without damaging side effects. We are not. There are many other reasons why supreme glory and honor and worship should be directed to God alone. For one thing, He is the only one truly deserving of it. Also, sincere worship that is directed to God releases beneficial blessings for us. This kind of sincere worship is essential to achieve a perfect balance of honoring God in the way that He deserves and releasing blessings for us in return. That is what we read in 1 Samuel chapter 2, verse 30. Now the Lord declares, "Those who honor me, I will honor, and those who despise me shall be treated with contempt." Pride, in the cases of King Herod and King Nebuchadnezzar, resulted from the false belief that they had achieved greatness by their own doing, rather than acknowledging that everything they were and everything they had was given to them by God, and He could take it away at any time He chose. In both of these cases, He did just that. As Jesus reminds us in John chapter 15, verse 5, "Apart from me, you can do nothing." A key to avoiding the disastrous traps that brought destruction into the lives of King Herod and King Nebuchadnezzar is to realize that everything that is good in us did not originate with us. It was given to us by God and others, so we cannot take credit for it. Proverbs 18, verse 16 tells us that a person's gift opens doors for him, bringing him access to important people. As Bill Fott correctly points out in his book, 10 Symptoms of the Lucifer Syndrome, the bearer of the gift does not make room for himself, the gift makes room for him. And where does the gift come from? It doesn't originate with the bearer of the gift. It may have been inherited or imparted by others, but ultimately it came from God. The bearer of the gift did absolutely nothing to earn it, and so taking credit for it is ludicrous. As we are told in 1 Corinthians 4, verse 7, "For who regards you as superior, or what sets you apart as special? What do you have that you did not receive from another? And if in fact you received it from God or someone else, why do you boast as if you had not received it but had gained it by yourself?" And James 1:17 states it plainly by telling us that every good gift comes from God. Every perfect gift is from Him. These good gifts come down from the Father who made all the lights in the sky. You may be an incredible person with amazing achievements, but to conquer the destructive influence of pride, it's essential that you always keep in mind where your incredibleness came from and acknowledge the one who gave you the abilities and the opportunities to achieve your amazing accomplishments. My name is Alan Drake, and the website is spiritofwisdommedia.com.